American Family Association radio host Sandy Rios is a Christian fundamentalist and a conservative, and she did some grade A fear-mongering on her show over immigrant children.
There's 100-plus children who are now paralyzed in some form or fashion because of this Enterovirus. But of course, the common thread is that this all happened in summer and fall of last year. It happened in summer and fall of last year. Now look, I can't say that this came from the border crossing of tens of thousands of illegal aliens across the border in summer and fall. Or they came across in the summer, and as soon as the doors opened in the fall, their children were in our public schools. But I am saying this. No one is talking about that. No one is tracking that, and they should be. And I'm also saying that many of you find this shocking when I say this, and I don't care about that. If you listen to me, you know that I'm committed to speaking the truth, and I'm not real concerned about what people think about me. I'm concerned about speaking the truth. If I get something wrong, then I'll be the first to admit it. But I'm telling you that the reports last summer that many of you might not have heard, those of you especially on the left who monitor the show, were that there were so many sick children who came across the border, and sick adults as well. Our border agents were coming down with illnesses, and as soon as they came across the border, they were being shuttled to unknown places around the country. We couldn't even find out where they were going, and they were quickly absorbed before we even could track it. But we know for a fact that there were illnesses of all kinds coming across the border, and if you haven't heard it, it's just because you weren't paying attention or you were watching the wrong news source. So I'm telling you there was reason to check on this, and yet another reason why. The 52 men, at least we need to know. Would you not agree? We should kind of find out if we have a problem allowing people in who have not had any kind of medical care, shots, health. They have all kinds of health problems. We have vaccinations and hygiene and cleanliness, and, we teach people in Western civilization how to go to the bathroom properly, how to take care of things, how to do things in a sanitary way. Do you not think that when we open our borders to a glut of people from another world who have never been trained, don't know that's not going to bring in disease? If you think that, I don't know. I can't argue with you if that's what you think, that's a silly notion. It's not a silly notion.
Yes, it is. It's a very silly notion. This is what you're concerned about? Immigrants don't know how to use the bathroom. Only the good white people from this world know how to use the bathroom properly. The immigrants can't figure it out because, it's so complicated. That entire thing was just oozing with xenophobia and bigotry. Oh, it was coming out of her eyeballs. Just Now, understand that the same argument she's making right there has historically been made by conservatives since the beginning of America. I mean, you go back to when there were Irish immigrants into America and when there were Italian immigrants, and these communities were discriminated against to a certain extent, particularly by the, Protestant white power structure. They said the exact same thing about those people. It's the same fucking playbook. Anytime somebody comes here and they're not exactly like us, what do people do? Oh, they're disease-ridden, and they're going to get you sick, and they don't even know how to use the bathroom properly, and they're not like you and me. They're not really normal humans. They're like subhuman. They're kind of mongrel-like, if you know what I'm saying. How have you not stopped and looked at the history of this stuff and tried to catch yourself at some point and go, wow, I'm being a racist prick? But you can't help yourself because you truly believe it. And then, by the way, when liberals fire back and say, okay, so you're concerned about this. Great. Well, let's go ahead and give vaccinations and give health care to all the immigrant children who are here. What do conservatives say? As if they all turn around and go, rock and roll, let's do it. Then they turn around and go, oh, we're wasting resources on illegal immigrants? Big government is going to spend on them? Oh, that's fucked up. I don't want that. Which is it? You can't have it both ways. You can't fearmonger all day long about how they're dirty and they're sick and they don't know how to use the bathroom and they're not like us. And then when we say, oh, great, well, if you're concerned about that, let us vaccinate them, let us give them health care. And then you say no. You can't have it both ways. But they try to have their cake and eat it too, of course, because they don't give a fuck about logic. And then also, let's not forget, she's fear-mongering about border security. Oh, what are we doing letting these people in here? Well, the Democrats proposed repeatedly to increase border security, and the Republicans filibustered it. Why? Because it was connected to a bigger bill about how we give a path to citizenship, and of course they had to wait over a decade, and there were all these different provisions in the bill that, went on top of this stuff, but they blocked it. They filibustered it either way. The Democrats were like, we're going to give you what you want. In Texas, they gave fucking drones for the border. So the Democrats increased border security. The Republicans said, no, we don't want it. We don't want even the things that we say we want. And then also, let me add, again, you're concerned about the flood of undocumented immigrants? Well, let's fix that problem. End the drug war. You do know that if you end the drug war, then the narco state in Mexico over time is going to dissolve. And then you're going to have much less crime in Mexico, much less crime south of Mexico, because a lot of people are coming from there now, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras. If you end the drug war, then you immediately make their living situation better because they're not living in a narco state anymore. So you want to end the drug war, right? You want to legalize, tax, and regulate drugs, right? Oh, you're against that too. It's funny how it works. Every time we propose a solution, you say no. And what do you do instead? You just want to fearmonger about how those people with the dark skin, they're just not like us. They don't know how to use the bathroom. They don't use modern medicine, and they're responsible for the spread of disease. And by the way, she was referencing a specific disease there, Enterovirus D68. Now, would you like to know the truth about Enterovirus D68? Quote, health experts have found that there is no link between immigrants and the debilitating illness. So your entire segment is based on a premise that is factually incorrect. But we're talking about a right-wing radio host, so none of us should be surprised.